Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's all of that because we don't know when we're actually going to be airing, except for sure on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. and on Saturday at 5 a.m. But we're here on the live stream on Facebook right now on social media. And I want to welcome you to Mi Gente on Air. Thank you for being with us here today as we celebrate summer. We are in the midst of summer now, and even though the weather isn't up to par, we're still celebrating, right? Because there's a lot of things happening in Saginaw. And there was a lot of events this last weekend and a lot coming up. And it just seems like there's a lot happening within our community. So one of the things that is really important is the East Side Hunger Center. We all know what a service it provides, and it's very important. And I have a great guest today. She's the executive director of the Hunger Center. Her name's Diane Keenan, and she's with me, and we're going to talk with her about the support that she's needing, as well as all what's happening over there on Genesee at the Hunger Center. So join me if you got a comment or a question or a concern, put it in the chat room and we'll try to address it. Thank you again for tuning in to Mi Gente on Air.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Mi Gente on Air. And that's the great sounds of the late Selena Quintanilla. She sounds so wonderful after all these years. And it's like kind of an intro to summer, right? We're headed towards summer, officially June 21st, I believe. But I feel like it's summer already and we're celebrating because there's a lot of things happening in Saginaw, Michigan. So thank you for tuning in here on Mi Gente on Air as we celebrate our 5th year of promoting and broadcasting on 100.5 FM and 790 AM WSGW. And today I have a guest who is a big name in our community because she's doing a lot in regards to feeding people throughout our community. And that's the executive director of the East Side Hunger Center. I hope that's right. Her name is Diane Keenan, and she is a good friend of mine, and she is coming on here to talk all about what her organization is doing. So please help me welcome to Mi Gente on Air, Diane Keenan. How are you, Diane?
I'm doing well, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. And I feel like this is a show of education because you're going to educate us on all what's happening over there in such an important organization of our community because, as you know, everybody, these times that we are living in, it just seems really hard to get by for everybody sometimes, you know, with the price increases of food and of utilities and just everything else. Tell me, Diane, what is your role there at the East Side Hunger Center?
So I am the executive director of the East Side Soup Kitchen, and the Hunger Solutions Center is the name of the building that we are in. We share that space with Hidden Harvest. So there's 2 nonprofits that are in the Hunger Solutions Center. At the Soup Kitchen, we are open Monday through Friday, and we're serving lunchtime meals. And I have to tell you, today we served 959 meals.
Diane, that's a lot of people on a daily.
That is a lot of food. The need continues to grow.
Yeah. So who helps in regard to supplying the food for that type of, numbers?
Yes, so we purchase food from the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, and we purchase food from like Gordon's and Sam's Club. And so that means that I have to write a lot of grants, and I mean a lot of grants to get funding for that. We also have food donated from Hidden Harvest, who again is in the same building as we are, and they are a food rescue agency. So they serve Bay County, Midland County, and Saginaw County. So we're fortunate there to share the building to get food that helps us with our food budget.
Hmm. Now I've been in the kitchen there.
Yes.
I know the Union Civica. We've made donations there, and
Yes.
we're looking to help some more so that you've got some good Mexican food.
Yes. And we appreciate that.
But you know, I see. You know, as a cook myself, I know that you know a kitchen is really important when you're cooking and all. So, do they primarily warm up the food? Any donations, or are there actually cooks there at the
No,
Hunger
we
Center?
have 2 full-time cooks,
Oh wow,
and they prepare those big numbers of meals every day, Monday through Friday.
wow,
So say, food we purchase, it takes over between 200 and 250 pounds of ground beef to do a meal of sloppy joes.
hmm,
More if we're doing meatloaf. So the amounts of meat it takes to prepare a meal for one day is astronomical.
yeah.
Yeah, and for desserts, like if they make cake, it takes 54 cake mixes for one day's meal.
Wow. So let's talk about somebody who may need food. They're hungry. They're down and out, or what have you. What is the process? Is it just a everybody's welcome, or how do you? Is there any screening type? I'm just asking and
Sure.
want to see what the process is.
No, anyone who's hungry is going to receive a meal from us. So there's no pre-qualifications. We don't ask for any identifying information. We're a non-judgment zone, just like Planet Fitness. You come in, we feed you. We feed people in our dining room, and we also feed people through a drive-through service out in our parking lot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so out there in the parking lot, we have a lot of elderly people that will come through that line that are unable, maybe physically, to come into the building.
Mhm.
So that helps them.
Wow, wow. So you know, we are trying to garnish support for your organization. What is it that you need support in at this time?
Yes. So at this time, because of the cost of food, we need monetary donations and or your family, your group, your civic association, your church, you can do a food drive for us. We had Jolt Credit Union and Kristen Novak just did a cake drive for us, and they got us 1,000 boxes of cake mix,
Wow.
which is great. Which
Yeah.
is great. We have people that have done businesses that have held uh, food drives for canned goods. We've had them for spices. And we also take our van, our East Side Soup Kitchen van, to different locations, businesses, churches, schools, etc. We park it there. We set up an information table, and that particular business will ask people to come and drop off non-perishable food items.
Nice, nice. Now, I know that during the Cinco de Mayo, we have the food truck that is there as well.
Yes.
And that's the one, the freezer truck I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
That's with your organization, or is that with Hidden
That's with
Harvest?
Hidden Harvest.
Yeah.
They have a refrigerated truck. Yes.
Wow, wow. So that always helps us because it keeps the potitos, the pre-made
Yes.
potitos cool and warm, and then we fry them there
Right.
on the spot. So but I think that a lot of people sometimes may hear about the hunger center. They may take for granted that it's doing its job, but don't realize that there's an actual need of
Yes.
support that's needed from the greater community.
Right.
And so I'm happy to have you on here the show today to talk about that. And I think that as we looked at organizations that may be able to have those drives or what have you, what would you say for someone like myself with the Union Civica? How
Uh-huh.
can we help in that effort?
Well, you are a great help when you bring in your big pans of beans and rice or whatever you're giving us, because that helps us with our meals to extend them for that particular day. And not only it's delicious food and everybody loves it. So things like that. Any food we accept like that has to come from a licensed
Licensed kitchen,
commercial
yeah.
kitchen.
I was just gonna ask
Yes.
that, yeah.
Yes.
And believe me, we are licensed. We go through the
Yes.
whole Saginaw Health Department, and they're on us all the time, and
Right.
they're doing their job,
That's right.
And so, yeah, I mean, and it's really relatively easy to make up rice and beans, and those are the staple Mexican foods, and the popularity of our Mexican food is
Yes.
always
Yes.
accepted. So I'm glad that we can help in that way, and you'll see more of that, because there are times, when we give food away and it just would make more sense to just give it to the hunger center.
Yes. Yes. The
So
need is real.
yeah, and tell me about that. Have you seen the need increase in, say, 2025 as opposed to 2024? Or is it just something that has
Most definitely.
really?
Most definitely, which is sad. So people are always asking, who comes to the East Side Soup Kitchen? Well, I can tell you right now, people are coming in that are working poor. They work, but they just don't make enough money to make ends meet.
Mhm,
Saginaw County is one of the highest in rates and for their rent.
mhm.
And we know the cost of medicine, the cost of food, etc., insurances, just everything. So, I've had senior citizens tell me that they have to pick and choose. Do I buy food or do I get my medicine? And that's sad. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah. When you say the working poor, you're talking all kinds of employment, all kinds of people that are
Yes.
working at different locations, and
Yes.
they're just not making enough to live day to day, and they feed themselves.
That is correct. And also, I've noticed a rise in um, college students, and they need help with food.
Yeah.
So it is really, unfortunately, it's rising. We're seeing a lot of new faces walking through our doors.
Wow. And so, are a lot of the workers there at the Hunger Center, are they volunteers, or how does that work with the?
Yeah, so at the East Side Soup Kitchen, we have 7 employees, 4 of which are full-time
Mhm,
and 3 that are not. And then we partner with like Region 7, who places senior citizens with us when they have them in their budget to do so. And then we have volunteers. It takes at least 15 volunteers a day to do what we do with all the food prep and the
mhm.
serving of the meals, etc.
Wow. To me, it sounds like it's, a big operation that's like an army barrack.
It is. It is. It really is.
And how long have you been there, Diane?
So I've been with East Side Soup Kitchen for 5 years. Before that, I was on their board of directors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it has a board of directors currently,
Yes,
correct?
we do.
And
Yes.
how many are on that board?
We have 11 on our board
Okay.
currently.
Okay. And that they are the ones that help make the decisions for the
Yes.
operations of the East Side Soup Kitchen.
Yes. And our the Saginaw mayor is one of our board members, and Mayor Pro Tem is also one of our board members.
Priscilla Garcia.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Priscilla. And they come in and they volunteer and they serve, and we're open on Thanksgiving. So we have a huge Thanksgiving feast, traditional.
Mhm.
And it's really, again, it's sad to see people that don't have anyone to be with or the food to have
Yeah.
a meal at home.
So if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they contact you? Do they contact somebody in particular? Because I'm sure that even just listening to the show, there may be somebody saying, wow, I can volunteer to
Yes.
help.
So please follow us on Facebook and go to our website as well, which is the eastsidesoupkitchen.org. You can go on there and you can fill out a volunteer form, download it, email it to me, or you can come in and get a form, and then we can set up, what time and what day you'd like to come in. We have volunteers ages from 5 to 90 years old.
That's awesome.
It is. It's great. The way the community comes in together and supports our 90-year-old gals. There's 2 gals and their friends, and they come in every Thursday, and they are just a joy.
So now the Eastside Soup Kitchen. It runs Monday through Friday, or is it
Yes.
weekends, or how
No,
is that?
that's Monday through Friday, and we serve from 11 to 12.
So 1 hour.
Yes, 1 hour.
Wow.
But
Where do you have the room in that place for 900
well,
people?
we have the drive-through system, and then we have our dining room, and they come and go. And then part of that count for the meals that we do every day, we provide meals to youth programs, like after-school youth programs for the Y, the Boys and Girls Club, First Ward Community Center, New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, different programs like that.
Wow, so you're pretty connected with all those, and
We are.
that's definitely that's a big portion of the community
Yes.
that you're providing, and I think it's wonderful. I know that for years this has been going on. How when did they actually start the Hunger Center in Saginaw?
45 years ago, the Eastside Soup Kitchen opened its doors.
Wow.
Yes, 45 years. And then the current building that we're in, the Hunger Solution Center, partnered with Hidden Harvest and the Eastside Soup Kitchen, and that's 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So
I kind of
yes.
remember that. And so you're saying basically in 1980
Yes.
was when
Yes, it
this
is.
started.
Yes.
And I remember many years ago, my father and my uncle Manuel would get calls, for Rodarte Builders to make
Yes.
donations and all. And so I've
Yes.
been aware of how it has helped, the community for a long time. And it's funny that here we are in 2025 and there's even a greater need.
Yes.
What do you attribute that to besides? Obviously, we know that expenses on a daily has increased. Is it the times we're living in? Is it the administration that we have in the White House? What is it that you attribute the increase?
All of those things. I think when we lost a lot of the GM plants and the people lost their jobs, and then things started to go downhill in our city, and then of course then the prices, the administration right now that we have with cuts are starting to affect us. Being that we are a soup kitchen and we have a building that will accommodate, we have people coming in, and we have the Secretary of State that comes in and sets up just an office. You can do everything there except take a driver's test. Everything. We had a dental bus come in. We had a mobile health clinic coming in. We have prevention for substance abuse issues come in, because a lot of our guests, Larry, they are either walking or taking a bus. And so that challenge has limits their access to a lot of resources that they need.
Yeah.
So if they can take care of business all at the Eastside Soup Kitchen, that's great.
Wow. Well, that's Secretary of State. That's incredible. I'm going there.
It is so cool. Yeah, because you can go take care of your business right away. You don't have to wait in a long line. And
Wow.
yeah,
So they have actually people that will, if you need tabs or
if you
license.
need tabs, if you
Wow.
need a new plate, they can print it out, take your picture, state ID, driver's license, anything.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
That is.
So, it's really you mentioned that there's a board and all, and I know that you sit on different boards in the community. You have been a resource. And tell me a little bit about who Diane Keenan.
Okay.
Because you're Latina.
Yes.
And although you weren't raised within a Latina family,
Right.
you still are finding out more and more. And I think people want to know a little bit more about who you are as the executive director. So share that with my audience.
Okay. So I have empathy for a lot of people because I can look back and understand what it's like not to feel accepted or included. So I have a very open mind and an open heart. Growing up, I'd be lined up with all my cousins, and there they were, blondes or brunettes and light skin, light hair. Then there's me, black hair, brown skin, dark eyes. And I always felt out of place. My taste in colors of clothing, taste of foods, music, whatever, was always different. And I never felt that I fit in.
Hmm.
And so, different things in my life that I went through and struggled with, I can relate to a lot of our guests. They come in and they'll say, a lot of them will come and they'll ask for prayer, or I'll ask if they need prayer, want prayer. And they are so grateful. And I remember this one gentleman, and he said, if you knew how I live or what I did this weekend, you wouldn't want to pray for me. I said, that is so untrue. That makes me want to pray for you even more. We have people from all backgrounds, all beliefs. I love our staff because we are a diverse staff.
Hmm.
And I'm not just talking about our color of our skin or anything. I'm talking about we are a felon-friendly employer.
Mm.
We have believers, non-believers. We are active with Pride. They support us. And so it's just an inclusive place, safe place to come to. And our guests know that. And I always tell them, leave all that junk outside, come in. And I love that when they all come in and we're just like one big family.
Wow, that seems, a beautiful scenario for so many people in need. And I see it a lot with younger people that
Yes.
I work with or work for me, or I think, how are they doing it today? How are they surviving? And I think a lot of my listeners out there probably know what I mean. Times are definitely different. The work ethic's different, and
Yes.
we have a work ethic that isn't what we grew up with, but it's a little bit different. It's at a time when we see so much increase in pricing in living expenses.
Right.
And so how does that mesh? How does that, so you have this increase of people who need assistance and help, and to be able to go to like your facility there. It's a wonderful service to the community. So thank you for all that you do. Thank the volunteers that are there, the
Yes.
workers.
Yes.
Um, I don't think people really know or have actually paid attention to what actually is happening there,
Yes.
unless you've actually been there, you know.
That's true.
And so I think if anybody out there in the listening world has some time and they want to volunteer and help the Eastside Soup Kitchen, I think it's a very rewarding experience. And I know that for myself, just to drop off food that I cook, and I know that it's going to be utilized, that's a wonderful feeling, actually.
It is.
And
You will be humbled. If you come to the Eastside Soup Kitchen to serve, you are going to be humbled and realize how blessed you are.
all right. Well, we're going to go into commercial real quick. I'm here with Diane Keenan. She's the executive director of the Eastside Soup Kitchen, and it's a great organization that really helps our community. So don't go anywhere. No te vayas. We'll be right back. So thank you everyone for being with us here today on the live stream. I know it's a different time than what our usual time frame is on 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, but sometimes when we can't make it on Tuesdays, we substitute. We come here at 3 o'clock with my producer, Matthew Lester. And I just wanted to read, Priscilla Garcia says, Diane is a great asset to the city of Saginaw. And Regina Baraja says, Diane Keenan, you are a gem. Oh, you're a gem, Diane. So yeah, it's awesome that we're able to bring you on the show today and talk about all of this. And we're going to talk more about a fundraiser coming up. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with Diane Keenan from the Eastside Soup Kitchen.
This is Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and it's a pleasure being with you here today in this month of June. We are looking at a great organization today, and it is an organization that is has such there's such a need for it in our community as we are in 2025. And the executive director is here with me. Her name's Diane Keenan. Am I saying that correct? Diane
Yes.
Keenan.
Yes.
And I want to clarify because so many people hear about the Eastside Soup Kitchen, they'll hear about the Hunger Center. I was calling it a different name when we started. What is the actual name of the organization?
Okay, so our organization is the Eastside Soup Kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, and it has been for 45 years. The name of the building is Hunger Solution Center.
Oh.
And then we share that building with Hidden Harvest. So it can confuse some people.
Yeah.
But
So if you hear any of those names, no, it's just a good thing where you can be fed, right?
yes, right.
Yeah. So like, do you ever have like theme days or
All the time.
a schedule on the week where you make a meatloaf on Tuesday, or what? How does it
We
work?
don't go by that so much, but we do celebrate all the holidays. Today we had a Father's Day meal
Wow.
for our fathers, and we had giveaways for the dads. We do the same for Mother's Day. We celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, we celebrate the 4th of July. We just celebrate because a lot of our guests, they don't have anywhere else to celebrate Easter
Yeah.
or Christmas. So we like to make those holidays really nice for the families.
And I have heard of individuals who have gone on different holidays, Thanksgiving or whatever,
Yeah.
and they always come away with such a great feeling. And I think that's what you're talking about when you refer to being humbled.
Yes.
And I think that everybody should experience that at
Yes.
least once in their lifetime, because many of us have really never had a need because we have an abundance of family or good paying jobs or whatever. But there are times when that may not be the case with
Right.
everybody, or your luck may run out, your
Right.
blessings. And so this is an organization that helps in those times of need. And so I think that the empathy that Diane talks about, I think that especially in the political climate that we're living in,
Yes.
I think it would do everybody good.
Yes.
So, I'm putting a call out to my listeners out there. If you want to volunteer your time, the Hunger Center needs you. The Eastside Soup Kitchen, what's the other thing? There's a whole bunch, but
Right.
anyways, it's wonderful that we have this. Do you see that, say your cohorts in other cities, Bay City, Midland, or throughout the state of Michigan, are they also seeing an increase?
They are. From what people have told me, that there is an increase. Saginaw County definitely is a county of food insecurity.
Wow.
We also provide on a monthly basis, we receive a semi-load of food, which is about 20,000 pounds of food from the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And right now that donation is on hold. So we have people that are taking in funds for us, so we'll be able to purchase that semi-load of food. We hand that out, 20,000 pounds of food, to about 300 families. And people come in and they have a preconceived notion that it's just the city of Saginaw people coming to the soup kitchen or coming to a food distribution. That is untrue. We have people coming from Birch Run,
Mm-hmm.
Merrill, Hemlock, St. Charles, Saginaw Township, just all over. So I don't like people to stereotype and think
Mhm.
that it's just, the city of Saginaw. That's untrue.
So you don't have to show an ID or any type of
No, you
information.
don't.
It's everyone's welcome.
Yes, we do ask for a zip code,
Mm-hmm.
just so we can kind of see where they're coming from, but no name or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
And so the staff and volunteers do a great job. They unload the semi, they box up the food, and then they go through a drive-through system and put it in people's trunks or in their car. Some people, Larry, I tell you, the food drive starts at 9 or
Mhm.
distribution, and people are in line at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And in the winter, they are bundled up in their cars with a blanket so they don't have to waste gas. And there may be 2 or 3 families in one car to save gas, or the other people may not have a vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, Diane, I know that in the past, like we talked about, you're on different boards and all. What made you want to apply for this position as executive director? I mean, you definitely have to have empathy and have a heart for
Yes.
what. Tell me that scenario and how you got this position.
Well, so as an adult, I had a lot of struggles that our guests have, so I could relate. And at the same time, for some people that don't know, I was a high school dropout, and I was pregnant at the age 16 and in a girls' home and removed from my home. And I went back to school. As soon as I was 18, I went and took the GED test. And then later on, I went back to college, and I have a master's degree now.
Mm,
And I like to share that with people, not to give myself kudos, but to let them know it can be done. You can make a difference. You can make a better life for yourself. And as a female Latina, when I didn't fit in, that sometimes I felt like I didn't fit in either because I can't speak Spanish,
mhm.
very little. I didn't have that traditional background, although a lot of that's just in your blood.
Isn't that something?
It is. It is. It's unreal. And then, so yeah, I like to give people, we not only feed people and provide meals, but we give them hope.
Wow. And that's so important in this day and age.
It is. It
Yes, it
is.
is. And so you mentioned to me off air that you are making those connections with your family that is your blood
Yes.
relatives in
Yes.
California. And
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Yes. So hopefully I'll be able to take a trip and go out there and meet some of my folks. They have sent pictures. We've exchanged pictures.
So it's relatively,
Look a lot alike.
wow, it's
Yes.
relatively
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
recent.
Yes.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It is.
You must be excited about
I
that.
am. I am. It's
Yeah.
good to, you want to know who you are
Yeah.
and why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
And, your taste and everything. It's just amazing. It's so deep right in your blood.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's you would think you would have no connection because you weren't raised in a
Right.
Latino family.
Right.
But yet you know that you are,
Yes.
and you like Mexican foods.
Yeah, I do.
I know. I
And
know
the
you do
music
because you buy from
and
me.
the bright clothes, everything, it's just in your blood.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. And is it something that you look forward to sharing with your family, that your children or
Well, a lot of them have passed away, but some probably not, just because of the way I was treated and different things I went through. And yes, there was family that loved me, and then there was family that I feel looked down on me because of,
mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you seem to be a good candidate for this type of position, and I think that's it shows.
Well,
it definitely shows
thank
in
you.
the empathy that you have for those who come through the Hunger Center itself.
Sure.
I think it's important to have somebody who understands the plight, and
Right.
it's something I think that you have within you. And you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
What
I
is
love it.
some of the people that are also making a difference with you is supporting you there at the Eastside Soup Kitchen?
Okay, so we have a lot of support from our Catholic churches.
Really?
A lot of our volunteers are from the Catholic churches. We're having a fundraiser Monday. We're having a golf outing at the Saginaw Country Club. And Father Steve Gavitt always
Oh, wow.
chairs that for us.
Nice.
So that's really nice. So we have different local churches coming in and supporting us. We have foundations supporting us.
But you have somebody who seems to be putting a name out there for himself, our great
Yes.
Sheriff Fettersfield.
Yes.
And that's something I want to bring up here. There's a big fundraiser coming
Yes,
up
there is.
tomorrow.
Yes. So back in time, a tribute to Huey Lewis in the News. Sheriff Fettersville, in my opinion, is a great human. His family comes in and volunteers, meaning his wife and his children.
Wow.
And they are awesome. They come in, they're hardworking, they don't want any kudos for it. They fit right in, they treat everybody with dignity, they're there to serve. And now the sheriff and his band, which is great, great talent, will be putting on this concert tomorrow night at the Birch Run Event Center, Speedway and Event Center.
Mhm.
Doors are open at 6:30 and the concert starts at 8 o'clock. Tickets are $30, and all of that money is going to the East Side Soup Kitchen to purchase food.
Wow. And it's
Yes.
going to be hip to be square.
Yes. Yes.
He's not doing Kenny Rogers, right? He's going to be
No,
Huey Lewis
yes.
tomorrow.
And this is the first time he's done a full concert of Huey Lewis. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. He's great. He doesn't charge us anything. He gets sponsors to help pay his band, of course. And this time it's Dick Garber and Craig Goslin. We had our flyers made up by the print shop. And then,
Ben over there at the print shop.
yes,
Great guy, yeah.
he is, that whole staff. And then Susky Automobile in Birch Run is donating the event center to us and sponsoring everything. So just a lot of people coming together.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is.
You know, it's really something how we in Saginaw with Sheriff Fettersfield, you know, I feel like it's a blessing that he has that type of talent, you know, to share and give back to the
Yes.
community. Genesee County has Chris Swanson, who
Yes.
also, I mean, you know, we got some pretty neat guys that are sheriffs
Yes.
in our county. So that's always a plus. And I'm glad to see that so many people are involved. We know Dick Garber, you know,
Yes.
is he's a good friend of mine as well. And the Spirit hockey team that what they're
Yes.
doing and
Yes.
what
They do a lot for us.
yeah, so that's awesome that it's a community-wide contribution from everybody, and you must feel pretty blessed that you're getting that kind of sponsorships.
We are. And speaking of Sheriff Chris Swanson, he sometimes plays the drums
Does
for the
he?
sheriff here, for our
Oh.
sheriff. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
A lot of talent.
yeah, and I think that you know, as we have all that support in our community, your organization is always going to need support.
Always.
And always because there's such a need. And I think that's, you know, when Diane said, hey, I'd love to be on your show, and I thought, man, it's long overdue that you're here. I think I had you on once before, didn't I?
In your magazine.
Oh,
in the
okay,
Manatee
okay.
magazine,
And
yes.
but I think you know, to be able to have you on as a guest, it's a real privilege because the work that you do, I know that it's so needed. And
Yeah.
I've been there to the Hunger Center and
Yes.
have seen. I have people, friends that they go there. I know that, and they let me know that what they were eating on any
Okay.
particular day. And so, you know, like I if whenever Diane you need some rice, I make great rice.
You do. You do. I
And,
know for a fact.
Yeah, so like I sent over we had some leftover potatoes.
Ooh.
Tell me about how those were for you.
Oh my gosh, what a treat. What a treat.
Don't ask me to make it for 900 people though.
Could you?
No way.
Please.
No way. You know, it's so important in this day and age. And we keep kind of mentioning that in that theme of what we're going through as a community. And I think it's happening, you know, throughout our country. But it's really humbling for me to see that people, friends of mine, such as yourself, such as Dick Garber,
Mhm.
Sheriff Fettersfield, you know,
Yeah.
you're pulling together, you know, you're
Yes.
working to help for the great cause that is out there for everyday people,
Right.
you know. And it's funny because Sly Stone just passed away, and I'm thinking of that
Yes.
song "Everyday People." He just passed two
Yes,
days
he
ago.
did.
But that's who it is. It's everyday people that are in need, and I love the idea. It's like you said, the Planet Fitness,
Yeah, non-judgment.
non-judgmental. Just everybody come in, and I think anybody who's out there that may just want to experience what it's like to go there and visit. You can get a really good education of what's going on in our community, the need, as well as the humanity of
Right.
being there and seeing with your own eyes. And maybe you may make a friend. Maybe you will
Yes.
just have a great conversation talking about something that there may be something you both relate to.
Right.
I know I went there and I saw my good friend Jim Dwyer there, right?
Yeah,
That
yes.
was really awesome to see Jim there, who was, really instrumental at Saginaw Valley State University before he retired.
Mhm.
And he's doing great things for the Hunger Center. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So the Hunger Solution Center, and again, that is the name of the building. So the entire building is going to be expanding. And we have a capital campaign going on right now. We need to raise $9 million, and we have 6.5 million raised so far. So we're believing we're going to raise the rest of the money. We're hoping to have groundbreaking in September or October
Of this year.
of this year.
Wow.
Yes.
Uh,
So Jim Dwyer is the chair of that. And I know he would love to come and speak on that and tell you more about it. It's much, much needed. We have outgrown the space that we have.
Yeah.
And there's some safety issues concerned. So say the semi coming from Gordon every Thursday. Well, it has to park on Thompson Street.
Mm.
And Hidden Harvest, they have large semi trucks
Mhm.
coming in, and they have to unload them, take everything into the building by hand or with a jack or something. And so it's just a concern. Our kitchen area, because we have so many volunteers that we need to prepare this amount of food, these meals,
Yeah.
that area is just too small right now.
Yeah. And that's to me, it's a big kitchen, but I mean, when you're feeding that amount, it's definitely,
Yes.
yeah, you need the room.
Because you have to, prep for the food, as you know, and then cook the food and then serve the food.
Yeah. Wow. So there's definitely a need there. And I'm glad to see that you got somebody like Jim Dwyer behind that.
Yes. Yes.
Good people. So that's awesome. Well, is there anything else? We talked about the fundraiser tomorrow, Saturday, June 14th, Back in Time, a tribute to Huey Lewis and the News. If anybody can make it out there, tickets are $30. It's over at the Birch Run Event Center. Is that what they're calling it now?
Yes.
And doors open at 6:30, and the concert starts at 8 p.m. So
that is correct.
Try to make it out there, everybody. And is there anything else that you want to mention? We've got 2 minutes left in the show here. And
just I thank you in advance if you want to support us, either with a monetary donation or with your time and talent.
And that's important. Time and talent.
Yes.
And Regina Barajas,
Yeah.
she works over there at Garber.
Yes, I love her.
She says you'll do better at Garber.
That's what I
She's
say.
getting a plug. She's getting a plug on there. So yeah, that's awesome. But it's been a real pleasure to have you, Diane, on here. I know you and I have also been there and helping at the well.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? The
Sure.
homeless center for men, right?
Yeah. So like you said, it is a shelter for men, and it's on more of the south side of Saginaw. It houses 10 men at once. It's a beautiful facility, a beautiful home. We have our gentlemen there, and some of them come and volunteer at the soup kitchen, which is great.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. So they give back to the community, and right now they're full. But yeah, so I serve on the board, and that is another great organization.
And they're part of the women's homeless center as well.
Well, on the
Kinda
board,
tied as on
yes,
the
the
board.
founders were Amy Rowe, who
Mhm.
is the executive director at Mustard Seed Shelter,
Yeah.
and Donna Clark, who is the director of the Emmaus House. Two great humans. Three of us have a close relationship.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, really nice. And I know that there's a need, it helps with homelessness as well as
Yes.
addiction.
Yes.
People, and I don't know, Diane, did you go to, I think it was a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when the Civica was involved to raise money for the well.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
had 5 men who could cook.
Yes. I
And
worked at the door. Yes.
do you remember
Yes.
that?
I
And
do
we made,
remember.
man, that was some good food,
It
wasn't
was
it?
really good food and a good turnout, a lot of support, and that was
Yeah.
greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that was 2023
Yeah.
and already 2 years ago. But
We need to do that again.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
plan on doing it for
Yeah.
maybe in 2026 we can do I can get some of my friends who can cook, and
That would be great.
the thing about men is they like to brag about if they can cook or not, believe it or not, and so like we always try to outdo each other and on,
Which is
and
great.
yeah, and Dan Ortiz was there. James Garza from the Cop King, Mr. Elote was there, and Jaime. Yeah, I had
It
some
was
good
great.
friends. That
Yeah, it was
good
really
food.
nice.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been a real pleasure to have you on here and to be
Yes.
educated as a community. I think it's going to be a good show for people who maybe not heard of what actually goes on behind the scenes
Right.
at your organization, at the Eastside Soup Kitchen. But it's so important. It's so important, and it's so badly needed in our community. So bravo to you and your organization for doing a great job, and we look forward to assisting and helping along the way. So everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening, and thank you, Diane Keenan, for being with us here,
Thank
Executive
you, Larry.
Director of the Eastside Soup Kitchen here in Saginaw, Michigan. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Adios. All right. So that was the live stream here with Diane Keenan, from the Executive Director of the Eastside Soup Kitchen. And thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Regina Barajas from Garber over there, and Priscilla Garcia, our pro mayor temp. It's nice to see these young ladies also supporting and coming up, in the community as well. So thank you, everybody, for being with us here today. And we'll look forward to seeing you throughout the summer. I'm going to be doing what we call evergreen shows, pre-tape shows, because I'm going to be going off on a summer vacation of a lifetime, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week here on Mi Gente on Air.